Before you fall in love with the idea of moving to Bullhead City, before you start looking at those listings and browsing online, imagining what life would be like on the river, you deserve the full picture. Not just the highlights, but the real honest version of what it's actually like living here. Hi, I'm Amy Pierce with Keller Williams Arizona Living Realty, and I help clients relocate, buy second homes, and invest right here in Bullhead City and the surrounding areas of Mojave County, Arizona. Today, I'm going to be walking you through the top 5 reasons that people absolutely love living here and the 5 things that make them decide it's really not the right place for me. Just honest feedback that you can use that can help you make the right call for your life. And stick with me to the very end because the last con on the list really surprises some buyers. So let's start with what draws people here in the first place. Number one is that their dollar stretches further. One of the first things that buyers tell me when they are starting to look at homes here in this area is that they're really surprised at what they're getting for the price. Compared to a lot of other Western states like California, Nevada, the Pacific Northwest, and even some East Coast states, the purchasing power here goes further and is generally very different. More home, more land, more garage space at that price point for something that they would get much smaller or much older somewhere else. Pro tip number 2 is the lifestyle here is not something you visit, it's something that you live. People spend a lot of time and money trying to vacation in places where it looks like Bullhead City, the Colorado River, the desert landscape, the sunshine, the lakes, the trails. And this is not a weekend getaway for people who live here. It's just another Tuesday. Boating, kayaking, fishing, paddleboarding, it's woven into how people structure their weeks. The golf courses are gorgeous and accessible year-round. The desert trails are right there. And because the winters are so mild, you are outdoors all year long. Pro tip number 3 is the small town feel, but you're not isolated. Bullhead City has a pace of a smaller community, and for a lot of people, that is exactly what they are looking for. But you're not so tucked away or remote that you can't go to Vegas. It's under 2 hours. Sedona, the Grand Canyon, and Flagstaff are a comfortable day trip. And Laughlin is right across the river for concerts, dining, and entertainment all year round. Residents treat Vegas almost like it's a nearby city, a show, go to game, they shop for the day, and they're home the same night. The combination of a quiet daily life and access to a big city experience is something that offers the best of both worlds. Pro tip number 4 is that this area is growing and it is growing in a measured way. New construction homes are coming in across multiple price points, entry-level, mid-range, and larger custom-built homes. That tells you something about the confidence builders and developers have in where this community is headed. You are also seeing retail expansion, infrastructure investments, and planned mixed-use developments. For buyers and investors, steady and planned growth is a much better long-term signal than a market that spikes and then corrects itself just as quickly. If you're thinking about this as a place to build equity over time, the trajectory here is worth paying attention to. Pro tip number 5, it's the weather, and for most of the year, it is amazing. It's generally hard to beat. Summers are hot, yes, and we're going to talk about that, but I do not want people to overlook what the other 8 or 9 months look like here. Fall, winter, and spring in Bullhead City are beautiful. Mild temperatures, constant sunshine, and a consistent outdoor lifestyle. You'll go golfing, be on the river, hiking, almost all year long. A lot of residents structure their year around those seasons intentionally, and once people find their rhythm, they rarely ever leave. Now, on the other side are the cons, and these are real. They're not minor inconveniences. Con number 1 is the summer here is a whole experience, and not everybody's ready for it. This is the most important thing to understand before you make the move here. We do not have a few hot weeks. We have substantial season of triple-digit temperatures from June to September. In July and August, days above 110 degrees are normal, not unusual, but normal. The nights cool down, but it's not in the way that people from cooler areas and climates would expect. Summer reshapes how you move throughout your day. Outdoor activities shift into the mornings or the evenings, unless you're spending the day on the water. I always tell my buyers who have never been here in the summer to visit first. Come spend 4 or 5 days in July or August and actually feel it. That short trip could save you from a decision that costs you a whole lot more to undo. Con number two is our local job market, and it has limits. The industries that are driving employment here are going to be healthcare, construction, tourism, education, public service. Those industries are real and growing. But if you are looking for a high paying corporate role or a big tech company, you will not find those options here. The people who thrive in this market are retirees, business owners, remote workers, or people who are already working in those kinds of industries or willing to enter those industries. If you are relocating and need to find work here, go in with a clear eye on what is actually available. Con number three is specialty healthcare that requires a plan. For day-to-day healthcare, this area serves our residents well, but certain specialists and more complex procedures may require travel to larger metro areas. That is especially important for retirees or anyone managing a chronic condition. My advice is always the same: do your homework before you move. It does not mean that this area is the wrong fit, it just means making it part of your plan early. Con number four, if you're coming here from a large metro, big city area, the adjustment is going to be real. Dining options are more limited, and there's no high-end designer shopping districts, and the pace is quieter. Our retail portfolio is mostly national retailers and more community-owned businesses. Some people, they'll step off that moving truck and they'll immediately feel at home, while others take a few months to find their footing and adjust. What I've seen consistently is that the people who struggle the most are the ones who continually compare our area to where they came from, forgetting why they moved here. The people that lean into our area actually tend to adjust and appreciate our area very quickly. Con number five, there are always costs that do not always show up in the listing price. The purchase price is one number, but there are additional costs that affect your monthly budget in ways people don't always account for before closing. Electricity bills during the summer months can run significantly higher than what most buyers are used to. Depending upon the location, if it's near the river, flood insurance may be required on top of your standard homeowner's policy. If the home has a solar system, find out if it is leased or owned. If it is leased, the seller will probably ask you to assume that loan and those payments, and then that would go into your debt ratio if you're financing. And HOA fees, they vary quite a bit depending upon the community. So you're going to want to look into your HOA. None of these are reasons to walk away. They're just reasons to ask the right questions before you close escrow. Well, there you have it. 5 reasons to build a life here in Bullhead City and love it, and 5 things that are worth thinking about before you make that call. Bullhead City is not for everybody, and that is okay. People who thrive here are the ones who went in informed and are ready to embrace the river lifestyle. Which pro would pull you here, and which con gives you the most pause? Drop it in the comments below. I read every one. And if you want honest feedback and want a conversation about whether this area is right for you, use the link in the comments below or scan the QR code and book a call with me. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any of my weekly videos about Bullhead City, the surrounding areas, and life on the Colorado River. I'm Amy Pierce with Keller Williams Arizona Living Realty. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.